Hello everyone, welcome to Apti Plus Academy for Civil Services. This is a video on daily news and editorial analysis, which I'll be covering from two important newspapers. The first being the Hindu and the other is the Indian Express. So the most important news and editorial of the day will be discussed in this session. Let's get started with today's news topic list. Today is 31st of January. The first topic is Sputnik Light seeks nod for booster dose. Second, BrahMos order for Philippines in the pipeline. Third, EPFO to appoint auditor to track fund manager. The second last is bilateral relationship between India and Israel. We'll see how this can harness. The last is budgeting for the farmer. So this is an editorial from the Indian Express. Apart from this, at the end of this video, there will be some MCQ questions. These questions will be based on current affairs that will help you for the upcoming prelims examination, right? So you have to practice this question, and definitely these questions are on current affairs so that you can have a strong foundation on that. So without any further delay, let's get started. If you're new to our channel, do not forget to subscribe Apti Plus Academy for Civil Services on YouTube. If you like this video, if you find this video informative and helpful, do not forget to press a like button. And we have launched Prelims Test Series 2022. You'll get all the features with this test. I have provided a link in the description down below. You can check it out and you can register yourself from there directly. So the first topic or the first news is Sputnik Light seeks nod for the use as booster dose. This particular news is important for General Studies Paper 2, issues related to development and management of health. So what is detail in this news? Basically, Dr. Reddy Laboratories they have approached Drugs Control General of India for the approval of Sputnik Light. So this is a lighter version of Sputnik V, which was launched recently and which is also used in India as a major vaccination program, right? तो ये precautionary dose होगी जिसको डॉक्टर रेड्डी ने ऑलरेडी कहा है कि उनके पास एक सोल अथॉरिटी दी जानी चाहिए DCGI की तरफ से जहां पे वो डिस्ट्रीब्यूशंस को पूरा कर पाए. So the vaccine maker has claimed, by vaccine maker I mean Dr. Reddy Laboratories, they have sufficient stock of Sputnik V to continue the supply with the partners, right? They said कि उनके पास जो ज़रूरत की Sputnik V इंडिया में रिक्वायर्ड है वो सफिशिएंट क्वांटिटी में उन्होंने मैन्युफैक्चर्स की हुई है. इसी वजह से अब वो आगे चाहते हैं जो बूस्टर है जो स्पूतनिक लाइट है उसकी भी मैन्युफैक्चरिंग्स के लिए उनको अप्रूवल मिले सो दैट दे कैन कम अप एज अ इमरजेंसी ऑथोराइजेशन या फिर बूस्टर डोज के लिए. Now, Sputnik V was a soft launch in India in May 2021 after receiving the emergency use authorization. जब EOA उनको मिली है ड्रग कंट्रोलर जनरल ऑफ इंडिया की तरफ से उनके बाद we have 3 vaccines that is being administered in India. कोविशील्ड, राइट, उसके बाद कोवैक्सीन, उसके अलावा स्पूतनिक. ये 3 वैक्सीन है जो कि अभी एडमिनिस्टर की जा रही है. So this is a Sputnik Light. You can see the image of this particular vaccine. Now, phase 3 clinical trial, basically they have also given the trial results. So December 2021 में जो drugs manufacturer है Dr. Reddy Laboratories, they have sought permissions from Indian drug regulator to conduct the phase 3 clinical trial and evaluate the efficacy of Sputnik Light, right? So booster dose में जब इसको यूज करनी जानी है तो उस समय it is very important to understand that how much efficient it is against the variant and the Omicron viruses. So Sputnik 5 has demonstrated a superior protections against the new Omicron variant. जो Omicron variant है उस पे भी ये देखा गया है कि Sputnik काफ़ी अच्छी and effectiveness is on a higher side. So with higher virus neutralizing activity, the comparable vaccine is independent and comparative study conducted by the Spanzali Institute in Italy. तो ये सिर्फ इंडिया में नहीं ग्लोबली जो रिसर्च की गई है इस पर्टिकुलर वैक्सीन के ऊपर इट हैज शोज दैट द एफिकेसी रेट इज हाई and indeed this is helping in the Omicron variant which is a newer variant of the COVID-19. Now some pending proposal that Dr. Reddy has claimed, the Dr. Reddy Laboratories ने कहा है they have series of proposal pending with the DCGI, that is Drug Controller General of India, including the clearances of Sputnik Light stand-alone vaccine or clearances for starting the trial for the use of mixed match booster dose, right? In many other countries लाइक यूएस और यूके ने मिक्स मैच के बारे में भी बात की है. जो मिक्स मैच जो डोजेज हैं वैक्सीनेशन की इट सेज दैट इट इज ऑन अ हायर साइड. इसकी जो एफिकेसीज हैं या फिर इसकी जो रिजल्ट्स हैं वो अच्छी होती है. सो इंडिया में अभी भी अप्रूवल वेटिंग है मिक्स मैच वैक्सीन को लेकर के. एंड फॉर स्पूतनिक लाइट द कंपनी हैज सेड दैट फेज 3 क्लिनिकल ट्रायल डेटा of Sputnik Light has been submitted by the regulators to the regulators. जो DCGI को अभी already Dr. Reddy Laboratories ने अपने data submit किए हुए हैं, but they haven't got any revert from them. And along with the additional data of clinical trials, Sputnik Light from Russia and other countries also is using this data. And substantially, बहुत सारे ऐसे countries, if we talk about country like Israel, even UK, they are using the booster dose. Even Israel जैसे countries ने 4 booster dose, total 4 dose लगाए हैं, जिसमें 2 booster dose भी है. Right? For India, we have to see, already government has started precautionary zones for comorbid and other categories, but अभी सारे eligible जो population है उनके लिए booster dose allow नहीं की गई है. Now, second BrahMos order from Philippines in the pipeline. This particular news is important for General Studies Paper 2. Achievement in Indian science and technology, Indianization of technology, development of new technology. Apart from this, this particular news is also important for General Studies Paper 2 in the bilateral regional grouping and agreement involving India and fitting India's interest. So, after a major arms deal, which was recently held between India and Philippines, एक दूसरी ब्रह्मोस की डील होने जा रही है where India would be exporting the BrahMos to the other country like Philippines. So this order is worth of around 375 million. जो first order हुई है वो 375 million की है. That will definitely give the much needed flip to India's export, right? तो एक बहुत बड़ी agreement हुई है India और Philippines के बीच में where India would be exporting BrahMos. Now the missile has 290-kilometer range, and this is jointly developed by India and Russia. So if it is being asked in any other competitive examination that how the BrahMos was manufactured and which are the entities or countries involved, the correct answer would be India and Russia. Now acquisitions की अगर बात करें, acquisition of BrahMos by the Philippines Army is a program of Horizon 3 modernization program in Philippines. तो इनकी जो time durations हैं किस particular vision के लिए काम कर रहे हैं for 2023 to 2027. This is a 5-year vision by the Philippines Army, and they try to monetize and modernize their military part. तो ये काफ़ी इंपॉर्टेंट होगी, इंपॉर्टेंट एस्पेक्ट्स है फिलिपींस आर्मी के लिए, जहाँ वो इंडिया से ब्रह्मोस जैसे इंपॉर्टेंट मिसाइल सिस्टम लेंगे, एंड डेफिनेटली दिस विल हेल्प टू इनहांस द लेवल ऑफ मिलिट्री एक्सीलेंस. Now BrahMos is jointly developed by India and Russia, as I told you in the beginning, and the missile derived the name from Brahmaputra and Moskva River in रशिया. तो ब्रह्मपुत्र इंडिया में, दिस इज ब्रह्म एंड दिस इज मो. सो यहाँ इन दोनों नामों को मिला करके ब्रह्मोस बनाया गया. So this the name they have got from the river from both countries. Now the missile is capable of being launched from land, sea या फिर air के जो capabilities हैं surface to surface, sea based, ये सारे तरीके से काम कर सकती हैं. Even Indian Army is using this. So definitely this will help Philippines and any other army to enhance their level of combat. Now डिफेंस अटैचमेंट की अगर बात करें विथ इंडियाज ग्रोइंग मिलिट्री डिप्लोमेसी, तो देखा गया है कि जो डिफेंस अटैचमेंट है दैट हैज वाज एक्चुअली इन द रेड टेप, राइट. तो इस चीज को जो बॉटल नेक है उसको शॉर्टफॉल को खत्म करने के लिए डिफेंस अटैचमेंट भी की जा रही है, स्पेशली नॉट जस्ट ब्रह्मोस सिस्टम बट फिलिपींस इज ऑल्सो लुकिंग फॉर अ होल रेंज ऑफ मिलिट्री पार्ट, राइट. जहाँ पे मिलिट्री मॉडर्नाइजेशन की बात की जाए वहाँ पे भी एक बहुत इंपॉर्टेंट एस्पेक्ट्स होगी जहाँ पे वो ब्रह्मोस जैसे मिसाइल को इंडक्ट करेंगे. Now, India shipyard has also completed the supply of small frigate Philippines Navy, which has lost out South Korea to the end. Now, in 2017, the two countries has signed Memorandum of Understanding on Defense Industries, चाहे वो logistics की बात की जाए या फिर framework जहाँ पे strengthen होगी cooperation दोनों countries के बीच में in terms of logistics. So, providing a strong logistic support, development, production and procurement material would be very important. तो ये already एक agreement sign हुई थी जब इंडिया के प्राइम मिनिस्टर वहाँ पे विजिट किया था उन्होंने. Then at that point of time, the MOU was signed. So this include the delivery of 3 missile. जो ये पूरी एग्रीमेंट हुई है, जो MOU साइन हुई है, इस तीनों MOU में जो 3 इंपॉर्टेंट एस्पेक्ट हैं, द फर्स्ट इंक्लूड द 3 missile batteries training for operations, maintenance as well as necessary integrated logistic support packages. So this is a specification about BrahMos. You can check out, you can pause this video, you can read out the entire features. The maximum range is 400 plus kilometers, velocity is 2.8 Mach and weight is 2.5 ton, right? और कुछ इसके advanced features हैं like fire and forget principle पे काम करती है. It has low radar signatures, low fight range in all variants, and it has a pinpoint accuracy, right? So this is the reason that this particular BrahMos is considered to be the higher and efficient compared to any other variant, right? Now, the other news, EPFO to appoint auditor to track fund manager. This particular news is important for general studies paper 2. Government policies and intervention for the development of various sectors and issues arising from it. So recently, जो एम्प्लॉयमेंट प्रोविडेंट फंड ऑर्गेनाइजेशन है ईपीएफओ, उन्होंने डिसाइड किया है दैट दे वुड बी अपॉइंटिंग इंडिपेंडेंट ऑडिटर अपॉइंट किए जाएंगे ताकि वो जो ट्रांजिशंस हो रही हैं, उनके जो डेविएशंस हैं अमाउंट की, उस सारी चीज़ों को ट्रैक करेंगे, राइट? जो फंड मैनेजर है उनको देखेगी कि हाउ दे आर एक्चुअली इन्वेस्टिंग. So every PF office hope to include the auditor appointment by the end of this financial year. और ये मंथ वाइज ऑडिट रिपोर्ट सबमिट करेंगे. उसके बाद जो एनुअल रिपोर्ट है उसको सर्टिफाई की जाएगी. देयर वुड बी अ फिजिकल वेरिफिकेशन प्रोसेस दैट वुड बी अंडरटेकिंग बाय द ad hoc audits. So audit is something which is very important, and this auditor would play a very significant role to help the investors. Now what is the advantage of this decision? जो डिसीजन ली गई है ऑडिटर्स को अपॉइंट करने की, उसकी क्या क्या सिग्निफिकेंस होंगी? So the decision to appoint the external concurrent auditors would help to scrutinize day-to-day transaction by the portfolio managers. जिस तरह से म्यूचुअल फंड में होते हैं, जो आप SIP करते हैं, इवन ए म्यूचुअल फंड, देयर इज अ फंड मैनेजर हु इज हैंडलिंग द फंड, राइट? हाउ द फंड हैज टू बी इन्वेस्टेड, इक्विटी में कितनी जानी है, डेट में कितनी जानी है, या फिर ETA में कितनी जानी है, ये सारी बाइफर्केशन जो है, ये जो कॉल होती है, ये फंड मैनेजर्स लेते हैं, राइट? सो पोर्टफोलियो मैनेजर इज अ वन who take a call that how the investment has to go. So sole responsibility जो है वो भी portfolio managers की भी होनी चाहिए. So it aims to ensure the investment pattern जो norms follow की जा रही है, जो EPF की saving है, right? So EPF saving है वो कैसे किस तरह से follow हो रही है, this has to be audited by the auditors. Now any exceptions or deviation would have to be reported immediately, right? So जो working procedures है उसको improve करने के लिए इस तरह के procedures लाए गए. Now the auditor would not only have to verify the daily transaction detail, but EPF में मनी कितनी जल्दी फंड मैनेजर प्रॉम्प्ट कर रहे हैं, जो एक्चुअल बेनिफिट्स हैं वो हाईली वाइबल है या नहीं, वो प्रॉफिट सीकिंग है या नहीं, या फिर जो ऑप्टिमल मार्केट रेट पे जो बेनिफिट्स मिलनी चाहिए वो इन्वेस्टर्स को मिल पा रही है या नहीं. सो दीज आर द थिंग्स दैट दिस ऑडिटर वुड बी टेकिंग इनटू प्लेस. Now investment in EPF, अगर एम्प्लॉयमेंट प्रोविडेंट फंड की अगर बात करें, in 2021 the fund manager have invested almost 1.82 lakh crore rupees, right? So this is the amount which was hugely invested, और इसमें इक्विटी इन्वेस्टमेंट काफ़ी ज़्यादा है, एटलीस्ट 5% in the incremental EPF flow for the member account. Now EPF have also began equity investment, जो कि उन्होंने 2015 और 16 में स्टार्ट किया था, with a ceiling of 15% in the fresh inflow. If it is being asked in examination, ऑल्दो ये काफ़ी डिटेल है, अगर पूछी जाती है तो आपको 15% की कैपिंग बतानी है. A minimum of 45% and a maximum of 65% inflows are invested in government security. तो जो G securities होती हैं उनमें कैपिंग 65% और 45% की रखी गई है. Bilateral relationship between India and Israel. This particular news is important for General Studies paper 2. That is bilateral regional grouping and agreement involving India and affecting India's interest. तो इसराइल के प्राइम मिनिस्टर ने अभी रिसेंटली अपने ऑफिशियल स्टेटमेंट में कहा है दैट इंडिया एंड इसराइल हैज अ डीप कमिटमेंट एंड स्ट्रॉन्ग कमिटमेंट इन टर्म्स ऑफ also developing a robust friendship. So these two countries share a deep commitment and a robust friendship. So both countries mark 30 year of diplomatic relationship. और एक basically logo commemorate की गई है, logo release की गई है. We'll discuss that also. Through India recognized Israel in September 1950, जो actually India ने अपनी bilateral relationship start की है Israel के साथ. The year was 1950, and the diplomatic relationship between both countries was established in 1992. So factually, those of you who have PSIR जिनके ऑप्शनल है, political science और international relations जो ऑप्शनल के साथ तैयारी कर रहे हैं, उनके लिए ये सारी चीज़ें काफ़ी इंपॉर्टेंट. Now, launched of a commemorative logo. This was a logo that was launched marking 30th of year for between India and Israel. So to mark 30th anniversary for the establishment of diplomatic ties, India और Israel ने ये commemorative logo release की है. In this particular logo, two things is important. The first is this star driven, and the other is Ashok Chakra. So if it is being asked in examination, make sure not in UPSC but for many other competitive examination, this can be important. So logo में दो important चीजें, star driven और Ashok Chakra. This symbolizes the icon of national flag of the both countries and forms the depicting 30th anniversary of bilateral ties. Now, looking into the relationship of defense and economic between India and Israel, so India is the largest buyer of military equipment from Israel. इस second largest defense supplier है after Russia. तो इंडिया सबसे ज़्यादा अभी जो अपनी डिफेंस को import करती है that is from Russia. The second is Israel. And India is Israel's third largest trade partner in Asia and seventh largest in global. और अगर बात करें इंडिया हैज ऑल्सो अ डायलॉग विद इजराइल इन कंडक्टिंग द फ्री ट्रेड एग्रीमेंट. तो एफटीए की बात करें so definitely Israel is a very important partner for India. Budgeting for farmer. This is an editorial from the Indian Express. This particular news is important for General Studies Paper 3, Inclusive Growth and Issues Arising from It. So this particular editorial is written by Ashok Gulati. He's a Infosys chairperson and also worked for the ICRA. So under this editorial, I'll be discussing three important subtopics. That is transparency in budget accounts, budget for the food and agricultures, and recommendations that is given by the Ashok Gulati himself. And the entire editorial concerns with regards to the budget forecast and farmer. तो जो कल बजट आएगी उसके बारे में एक फोरकास्ट दी जा रही है कि किस तरह से फार्मर्स के लिए गवर्नमेंट को ध्यान देनी चाहिए. So the union budget that is expected to launch by 22-23 के लिए 1st of February को launch होनी है. The 1st of February is the date when the budget is going to be launched, right? So this is 1st of February. And this is likely to talk much about the macroeconomic recovery. We have seen that during COVID-19, post-COVID-19, अभी जो almost recovery चल रही है, we have seen some V-shaped recovery, some K-shaped recovery taking place in Indian economy. But it is very important कि इस बार की जो बजट होगी you expect की जा रही है that this would give boost to the MSME sectors. जो micro, small and medium enterprises हैं उन पे गवर्नमेंट की ज़्यादा फोकस होगी. And greater investment in infrastructure because we need a health sector which is robust, right? तो यहाँ पे health sector को boost करने के लिए infrastructures पे भी काफ़ी ध्यान दी जाएगी. And these are the things that would be addressed. This is what the editor has to say. However, some common concerns hai with regard to the inflationary pressure, that is with regard to the inflation tax. Okay? Government definitely would be taxing some. अभी आपने देखा है जो टैक्स स्ट्रक्चर खासकर पेट्रोलियम प्रोडक्ट्स पे टैक्स कम नहीं किए गए तो उसको लेकर के काफ़ी ज़्यादा प्रोटेस्ट हुई है. बट ये देखना होगा कोविड के टाइम में जहाँ पे बहुत ज़्यादा शॉर्टफॉल हुई है, मेनी पीपल हैव लॉस्ट देयर इनकम, देयर इज अ सैलरी कट. And despite this fact, if the inflation tax is there, this will create a lot more problem in the saving of an individual. So transparency in budgetary accounts की बात की गई है. So if you talk about budgetary account, ये critical और credible होती है बहुत ज़्यादा किसी भी बजट के एस्पेक्ट्स में. तो पिछले साल जो बजट रिवाइज की गई उसमें एक इंपॉर्टेंट और अच्छी बात थी दैट फॉर फूड एंड फर्टिलाइजर सब्सिडीज ऑलमोस्ट ऑल एरियाज जितने भी एरियाज थे जितने भी बकाए थे फूड कॉर्पोरेशन ऑफ इंडिया के एंड फर्टिलाइजर इंडस्ट्रीज दैट वर गिवन, सो दैट वर वेव्ड आउट, राइट. एंड इवन दिस ईयर द रिवाइज्ड एस्टिमेट ऑफ फूड एंड फर्टिलाइजर सब्सिडीज आर लाइकली टू बी सिग्निफिकेंट हायर देन द बजट एस्टिमेट. तो इट इज अराउंड 2.4 lakh crore rupees and around 79.53 crore respectively. Now budget for food and agriculture की बात करें, so this is what the actual anticipation in this editorial is. तो अगर बजट में देखें for looking into budget, the food and agriculture angle से अगर देखा जाए तो सब्सिडीज जो है वो फूड फर्टिलाइजर्स और पेमेंट अंडर द पीएम किसान सम्मान निधि, this will dominate. This is what the editor has to say. And it can easily cross a mark of 4 lakh crore rupees and even it can go up to 5 lakh crore rupees in total. This is the anticipation. The picture would be clear tomorrow. And as the percentage is net revenue goes, the share would definitely increase. The subsidy amount may turn around 30%, right? This is what the editor has to say in the context of food and agriculture. Now some recommendations that is given. So ये एक right approach होगी जहाँ पे डबल और ट्रिपल अमाउंट करने की जरूरत है एग्रीकल्चर रिसर्च और डेवलपमेंट में एंड इवन देयर एक्सटेंशन पार्ट. And the emerging area of high value agriculture, which include horticulture, medicinal plant, livestock and fisheries, this should be the focus area in the budget, right? And this is not just to raise the productivity, but ये जो हमारी supply chain है, जो लोग involved with the people working for this sector should give the lucrative market as well, right? Essentially, it is very important to provide the profit margins also. Now, there's a need for better policies on grain management and fertilizer subsidy as well. Some other recommendations की अगर बात करें, नीति आयोग ने recently multi-dimensional poverty index release की, where it has put India poverty at 25% for 2015-16 on NFS data, right? And economic survey ने भी कहा है that a case is needed where the coverage of beneficiaries under the National Food Security Act was from 67% to 30%, which marked ample sense for targeting poor and bringing down the efficiency to the PDS, right? So more and more people need to be there in the part of public distribution system, which will help at least वैसे पुअर को जिनके पास लाइवलीहुड ऑप्शंस नहीं है, गवर्नमेंट की ऑलरेडी अंत्योदय अंध योजना है और भी इस तरह की स्कीम्स हैं, उसके साथ साथ पीडीएस इन स्कीम को भी इंटीग्रेट करने की जरूरत है सो दैट द मैक्सिमम बेनिफिट एंड आउटरीच शुड बी देयर for the poor people, right? So let's see how the budget is going to focusing upon these particular initiatives, or you can say the program and policy that is already existing. गवर्नमेंट किस तरह से इसको या एक्सटेंड करेगी या कैश फॉर्म में कुछ ट्रांसफर इनको कर सकती है. So we'll see that the recommendations for all part of the Niti Aayog and economy survey would be definitely taken into considerations. Now moving ahead with the MCQ questions of the day. Before I proceed, just to tell you the answers of yesterday question. For first question, the correct option is A. For second, the correct option is also A. Today's MCQ for practice आपको बताना है करप्शन परसेप्शन इंडेक्स जिसको CPI कहते हैं. इसमें इंडिया रिलीज दिस इज बीइंग रिलीज्ड बाय CPE, that is Corruption Eradication Commissions, and India's rank has slipped to 86th position among 180 countries in the CPI. So just check what is the correct answer. Second, ट्री स्टेटस के बारे में आपको बताना है. आई थिंक मोस्ट ऑफ यू मस्ट बी अवेयर ऑफ दिस आंसर. इंदौर, बैंगलोर, हैदराबाद और न्यू दिल्ली, right? So this was all about the daily news and editorial analysis followed by the MCQ questions. If you have any other concern, you can let me know. I'll be more than happy to assist you. For time being, I'm signing off. Thank you so much for watching this video.